Good afternoon again. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We'll get to the JRC here in a moment. First, the disclaimers and the trigger warnings. If you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, pertinent links are in the description box. You're going to want to check out Autistic Koya's massive archive. That is where we get the bulk of the material in regards to the JRC. We also have Neuroclastic's article where they surveyed over 800 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. Got deep enough under the JRC's skin, they actually threatened to sue Neuroclastic if they didn't remove it from their website. Neuroclastic refused. Please read it, share it. We have a link to their GoFundMe as well, because unlike the JRC, we do not have access to unlimited funding, just in case they ever do see through with their threat. Trigger warnings. When we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people's mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please make sure to use the headphones. Also, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity and speak on dark subjects. If your child's 16 and younger and watching, parental supervision is very much advised. Alright, where we left off. Shall we? Okay. Now, they went through all the different so-called non-intrusive things that they tried first. With me, if you guys remember, calling their bluff and telling you what they do in all actuality instead, and their definition of certain terms as opposed to what the rest of us in the field made by using similar terminology. Let's get to the next one. Treatment also included physician-prescribed protective equipment and mechanical restraints, one-to-one staffing, and medication trials of quetiapine and lorazepam. These methods of treatment did not adequately treat JW's SIB and AB. Okay, let's start with lorazepam. Because, bro, are you freaking killing me? Come on, folks. We're gonna look it up, shall we? Okay, this is specifically for anxiety disorders. So what does that mean, folks? It's also well known to treat seizures, anti-seizure medication. Okay, that's why I knew the terminology. My dad took lorazepam when he was still alive. Okay? They also say it can be used before surgery and to relieve anxiety. Thankfully, they did not put me on lorazepam for that because it knocks you out. It knocks you out cold. It's primarily a medication for seizures. Apparently, there is some off-the-label uses where it can assist with anxiety. Now, let me make something very clear. Anti-anxiety medications help us manage our anxiety. Not everybody, even me, with severe anxiety issues, cause ourselves self-harm or become aggressive because of anxiety. So, I would need to see documentation from the prescriber for them to show me and let me know, was this being prescribed for anti-anxiety as a way to help assist in controlling the SIB or AB, or was it just to treat the anxiety itself? Because it is quite paralyzing all on its own. I can testify to that. I can also tell you when the anxiety just about crippled me entirely, I wasn't thinking about stepping to anyone. The whole idea would be to get the fear to stop, not to go seek it out purposely. That's number one. Number two, the kind of anxiety that I had me in such a jumbled mess, I couldn't even string together a thought that would lead to self-injurious harm. So, we know it can be used for anxiety. It's primarily prescribed for people who deal with epilepsy. I would need to see documentation if the prescribing doctor intended for this medication to actually directly address the SIB or AB, or whether it was just supposed to help with the anxiety, or if it was being prescribed because the particular student had epilepsy. Without that information, there's no way to make a judgment call there, even as an armchair professional, as it were. It's not enough information. The JRC is kind of the king of not enough information, aren't they? Okay. I'm going to look up the other one too. I'm not quite as familiar with it as I am lorazepam. So let's take a look here. To treat bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. Okay. Which is diagnosis they did list above, so I do appreciate that much, at least. But yeah, let's start. Medications by themselves are not adequately going to treat something entirely. That's why they are supplemental to an overall treatment program instead of being the end-all be-all. Does Paxil allow me to operate like a somewhat coherent human being so I could take care of my own shit instead of being paralyzed sitting on the couch like I'm 5 again? Yes, it does. Does it treat overall the things that help produce that anxiety disorder, such as severe clinical depression and post-traumatic stress disorder? No, it does not. It works in concert with the entirety of the rest of my treatment program. So I take that medication so that the anxiety does not end up paralyzing me. Because the pill does its job, that then allows me the freedom to be able to make sure I meet my doctor's appointments, talk to my psychologist, talk to my psychiatrist as we continue to work on getting better with the clinical depression and the post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay? It's part of an overall program. That medicine by itself could not treat all of my ills because it's not supposed to. No medication can. That's why there's an overall treatment plan. Hear me on this, JRC. Overall treatment plan. It's supplemental. You know, like you claim the GED is, when it's not. Medications are meant to be supplemental. Torturing someone by shocking them just below the lethal limit multiple times is not. Pretty easy there to see the distinction, right? Those medications, of course, was not going to make the SIB or AB disappear. I hate to break it to you all, it's never going to disappear entirely. I'm 40 now. I would know. If I had the best fix-it pill in the world, you all would know. Because I would shill for free. I would become a stan of the company that came up with said medication. I would do my own unpaid commercials and have multiple videos on it. Not kidding. Look how I shill for Silver Dollar City. All the time. All the time. Okay? That's not the pill's job. Pills in and of themselves cannot treat the triggers. What they can do is help bring us to a point where we are able to be rational and aware so that we can engage in the other parts of our treatment program to address these issues. Okay? You see how that works? No medicine is going to take away any problem completely. If anyone says that it does, they're selling something. And believe it or not, JRC, it's not going to be Big Pharma, because Big Pharma does not want to show out millions to pay for lawsuits. CEOs are greedy. Because they are greedy is why they are never going to put anything like that out there. Because although they have the money to spend, ever been around greedy people? It's like they're hoarding acorns for winter, or a soft landfall when their ass falls to hell. Alright. It should be basic common sense to understand any medication you take is not going to get rid of whatever the problem is entirely. And they are understood to be simply a part of an overall larger treatment plan, regardless for what it is that you take them for. So, essentially, pulling out the bullhorn and screaming at the top of the lungs that the medications don't work because they don't remove entirely self-injurious or aggressive behavior is missing the point of medication and how it's supposed to be used in concert with a far larger treatment plan. Okay? It's playing on general public's ignorance. You know, similar to the same ignorance where we have people going around saying, none of these shots cured the flu, so obviously it doesn't work and it's a scam. Because that's not how vaccines work. They introduce a small, dead strain of the particular viral thing it's trying to protect you against, so that you can build up proper antibodies to fight it. That does not mean you're never going to get the flu again, because you probably are. but it's going to be milder, to the point where we're not going to be like having mass graves like during the time of the Spanish flu. Okay? Hopefully that will simplify it a little bit. It's part of an overall. Medication is never supposed to be an end-all be-all in regards to medical treatment. Not in general health care, certainly fucking not in mental health. I don't even understand how they can get away with saying these things. Is there not a singular doctor anywhere surrounding the Boston Canton area that has the balls enough to finally put this to bed? Because otherwise, progressive my ass. Alright, folks. We're going to go ahead and close out for this one. I know it was short. We don't get very many views on this channel, and the few we do tend to get removed from time to time. Please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and please, folks, don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time. As always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea do hope you have a good one. I'll see you all in a few minutes. Bye-bye, everyone.